Namaste, I'm Shiva Swati and this is the Voice of God channel. This video is about explaining that positive thinking needs to be taught as a syllabus in schools. It cannot be left on trial and error because positive thinking is a very scientific process. It releases positive hormones in your body which help you stay peaceful during difficulties, and positive thinking improves your health, your immunity. Scientifically, it is not a luck process that happiness comes by luck. No, happiness is a scientific process, like creation of electricity is the creation of brightness in your aura, in your body, in your chakras. Everything has discipline to it. It is not by random, it is not by luck, it is not a side effect of success. The process has to be followed from childhood for your mind to be conditioned into it. Otherwise, if you grow up as adults and then you learn positive thinking, it is extremely challenging, it is very difficult, and your relationships break and your financial situation collapses, or your health collapses, one of the two. If you don't have positive thinking, you will not be able to maintain balance in your finance, health, and relationships without falling often, because positive thinking is a disciplined method of thinking. It is like climbing a mountain, it is like going uphill, it is a focused process. You cannot afford to let it slip by, or leave it on destiny or trial and error and hope that happiness will come on its own, because even if you attain the highest amounts of success, you may not get the happiness you desire from the success unless you understand positive thinking. Now, I have written books on positive thinking. I have written 7 books, and one of the books is the course in emotional energy management. This itself has 25 exercises. Other books, the book I have written on spirituality in education has 75 exercises. So this is a complete course by itself. Like you teach science in a focused manner, which has led to so much technological development in the world, but it has led to increase in terrorism, in prostitution, in addictions, because people have become robotic, mechanical by nature, and they do not give any importance to compassion or love or sharing or integration with each other, integration in relationships, and they keep finding faults with every system. So this habit of negative thinking is a outproduct of the excessive focus on science and maths in the education curriculum. If you teach positive thinking as a subject, like you teach English from childhood, you teach how to develop patience, how to develop concentration, how to develop discipline, how to develop communication, like you teach stories in English about in history also you teach stories about warriors like Gandhiji, like Jhansi ki Rani, and so like Parshuram. So instead of teaching their names, you need to teach how did they develop the patience, how did they develop the courage which normal people did not have. You need to teach how to develop leadership, how to develop values, which the education system is not focusing on at all right now. They preach values, but in application they are not really teaching how to share with each other, how to share with poor children, or how to share with children with special needs. Especially the special needs category is completely outcasted. Like I myself have a special needs child who is 22, and I have a daughter who's 12, and in her schooling curricula or in her life there is no consideration for special needs people, disabilities. These people are there in our life to teach us compassion, to teach us that you have to find the best in everything, even if everything is going wrong. They are training lessons by themselves. So our education system has to teach positive thinking, so that we learn to find the good in every area of life. I started this process in 2005 because I had a son who had autism, and now I can find the best in everyone. In fact, I find it difficult to find faults in people. But this process is a disciplined process. If I start counting faults, then I can find immense faults. Because earlier I was trained into negative thinking by schooling and education curriculum, where I depended on luck, on rote memory, and on compromising with learning whatever is taught without giving my own contribution to it, because everything was mechanical, everything was robotic, and you simply had to take down what was given to you. You had no right to say, you had no right to give your opinions to the schooling system or to the education system on how you would like to learn. So this individual feedback from students, which is taken in special needs education, is not taken in regular education, and it is very important for individual potential development. So there are several things which we can learn from the new methods of education, where there are behavior analysis and applied positive thinking, and there is so much which is available, which is not imbibed in traditional schooling. And this insistence on opening schools at any cost, even if the pandemic increases, you have to open schools and pay salaries. This is only harmful, because salaries can be paid even if schools are not open, because people are working online. And even if they are not working, like the lower class, they can be given alternative employment. There is so much dearth of good people at work, so you can employ people in other areas than open schools, because opening schools will increase infection, because schools are now regressive, they are not contribution to progressive development of humanity. Excessive focus on maths and science is detrimental to education. So you have to focus on teaching positive thinking as a discipline, and teaching meditation is a part of teaching positive thinking, because you teach detachment from difficulties through meditation. To teach how to take focus away from all that is trash is the process of meditation and detachment, and to focus on what is important. That has to be taught through teaching meditation, because that meditation is the way by which you will build walls around yourself and you don't look at trash. So slowly you defuel the creation of trash. So that all those processes need to be taught by schooling, and it can be very well taught by schooling. If you keep teaching the way you are teaching now, and you keep teaching a redundant syllabus, children will become more and more aggressive. They will hate their parents automatically, simply because we are forcing them to go to schools which are not relevant for their development, emotional and psychological development, and we are forcing them to earn money and become robots, and then later they hit back at us. And the first anger which comes out is to the parent, because we have made them mechanical and robotic by forcing them to go to schools. But we as parents, we don't have a choice now, because we know they have to fit in society and they have to get jobs. But if the education system changes as it is changing in developed countries like Finland and Switzerland, then from childhood they will learn to respect and love their parents, and parents will learn to give the children free space. So all this is an outproduct of education system, how to be happy, not just how to be successful. How to be happy is a far more technical process than how to be successful, and it is a much more deeper process. So you need depth of thinking to learn how to be happy, and it has to be taught through schooling. So I hope that this panic about schooling ends, and people realize that the existing schooling system has to be revamped, and a new schooling system has to restart if they want to live on. Otherwise humanity can end in the next 100 years. Now people these days think that they won't get reborn, and the next generation will suffer and die in a third world war. But that is not true. All those who die now will be reborn, and it is them, their own spirits, their own children, which will suffer if earth goes through a third world war, and everything can simply collapse because the nuclear weapons are so strong. So it is important to teach positive thinking and peacefulness from schooling, so that children do not find addiction or prostitution more enjoyable than studying. Studying should be more enjoyable. It has to be taught in a way through dramas and plays and discussions and free time and free space. It has to be taught in a way that children evolve and enjoy studying. That is the God's method of teaching. Like God teaches through allowing people to live their life. So what they think they create. So this is God's method of teaching, that you allow freedom to learn, not force and enforce all the time, which makes children robotic and aggressive, and it increases terrorism and wars in the world, as has been happening since the last 200 years of mass education. As literacy has increased, terrorism has increased, drug addiction has increased. So you need to teach literacy in a way, and subjects have to be chosen in a way that peacefulness increases, and creativity increases, and inner positivity increases, not anger and aggression and depression as is happening now. So these things need to be seriously considered and worked upon, than insisting on putting all the energy on opening schools as they are. If you are in a negative state of balance and you restore the systems which are making you negative, you will only become more negative and more epidemics will come. So this is not a casual warning that I am giving. It is a reality. If you understand cause and effect as Buddha did, that energy transmissions matter in mass consciousness, and what you think you will release, and you will literally create it at an emotional energy level. And if you do past life therapy, you will understand how creation happens. I have seen miracles in past life therapy, because simply by teaching people positive thinking, that I will make in another video. So please share, like and subscribe, and please think about this concept. It is a seed in your mind, and I hope it grows into a beautiful green tree. Thank you.